All right, guys. So we had a big drop overnight. Morning, Sea Breezy. We are getting into market open right now. We can see that we formed our Asia high and Asia low, and we just dropped all the way down, completely displacing a lot of our bullish imbalances. We touched down to a 15-minute imbalance here, bounced back up. Sorry, my Asia high was all the way at 18,67725 or at 8:30 p.m. and my Asia low was at 7:45 p.m. You can see us go all the way down during London session. You can see our low is all the way down here at 5 a.m. down here. This is our London low. Pretty far down there. And then our London high was formed up all the way about the same level as Asia low here. Right? So London high and Asia low are pretty much the same. So I'm not going to put London high. We can see that we just already tapped above London high there, where Asia low is. Again, another day that's going to be very interesting. If we go up, let's go back up to our daily time frame. All right, so on a daily time frame, we still, to me, are kind of stuck in the middle between these imbalances. We look very bullish from that pullback that we saw. Again, most of our, like JB said, most of our NASDAQ companies are in the red at market open. We also have a lot of news coming out, but just looking at technical analysis, this to me, we trade down into a daily bullish fair value gap, trade down back into our weekly bullish fair value gap. Okay, 4 hour looks like we're trying to head back up. We created a higher low here. Looks like we're trying to continue back up. So like technical analysis, we still look like we're trying to go up. Okay, we do, but we have to remember we have news again today at 10 a.m. Eastern. So we have the JOLTS job openings, a red folder event. So it's going to be another big effect on our market, right? Just like yesterday. We were looking bullish. We went and we grabbed those buy side targets, and then we had that negative news come out, and then we saw the big drop yesterday. And then the same thing as Friday, we pulled all the way back again. So the market will be interesting today. If there's any trade setups before that news comes out, we'll look for it. Let's see what's going on. I want to go back down to a 15 again. Okay, so look how we traded down into this 15-minute imbalance down below. Created that London low. 50% of that imbalance, pump all the way back up, sweep this high. So let's see here on the 15 if we want to create higher highs. If we go down to a 5-minute bullish trend here. Basically, we want to be waiting to see. I expect us to maybe go up and grab that Asia high. If we're going to drop today, let's say that news is going to bring us down. Say we have some negative news again in the market. I would want to see that Asia high at least get taken out first, grab that buy side liquidity before we have a big drop. But let's look at what's going on. Got this little 5-minute imbalance here. See if we run right through that. We're still sitting above VWAP. Let's look at ES over here as well. ES low all the way down here at 5 a.m. Same low. London low there. London high. Same exact thing. It's a little bit higher. A little bit higher than Asia low. Okay, so London low ES is pretty low compared to NQ. We can see that we got that divergence between these. NQ swept that high up here, swept Asia high or London high. ES did not. To me, it looks like we're going to try to head down here. Let's see if we form some market structure shift here. Looks like on the 1 minute we're getting that market structure shift. So I might be looking for short entries pretty soon here. If we can close below these lows, look how we came up, swept liquidity, form a little 1 minute breaker. We're getting that market structure shift here. Look at that 5-minute close, very strong 5-minute close. Okay, so I do want to see if we're going to get that continuation down to go target London lows. And then possibly eventually go target yesterday's lows. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. We're obviously opening up very bearish today. Let's see what the VIX is doing. The VIX is pumping here. DXY is kind of heading up as well. So now at this point, I do want to see shorts continue. So we'd be looking for these liquidity levels to get taken out, like right here. All this internal liquidity, this low down here, and then London low, our external liquidity down here. So again, we did get that displacement candle on the 5-minute. Let's see if we want to go retest that 5-minute inverse up here. So we want to be careful. Remember, like yesterday, a lot of manipulation in the market. But we are touching up into that 1-minute imbalance here. But I want to see a lot more confirmation today in terms of like looking at the 5 and the 15-minute a little bit more. Just to get that extra confirmation that the trend is going to continue. Because right now we're seeing us pull back very far. Right, and that's why I want to use this 15-minute a lot more. Use the 5-minute a lot more. Because now we're seeing price come right back up, right? A lot of that manipulation. Leading into a red folder news event, we can expect manipulation in the market, so we always want to be careful going into that news event about what trades we're taking as well. I mean, look at that 1-minute completely rebalancing these 1-minute imbalances. Look at the hourly. We have a small hourly imbalance up here. All right, and after grabbing that London high, I did want to see a continuation to the downside, but we might, like I said earlier, we could go up and target that Asia high as well, right? So we might want to go target that Asia high first. Go grab that liquidity. Possibly going into our news event. Let's look down at the 1-minute. Okay, we got that 1-minute fair value gap. Looks like we're going to keep heading up. Okay, you could use that 1-minute fair value gap as a bullish entry. Again, I want to be waiting for that 15 and 5-minute. You know, those 15 and 5-minute time frames just for that extra conviction today. See if this 15-minute keeps respecting this imbalance here. See how this next 5-minute candle closes. Not get caught up in the 1-minute time frame too much. Because we have found out, right? I've found out the hard way, right? That the 1-minute, the 1-minute is already on normal days can already show a lot of manipulation, but especially on these types of days, when we have red folder news events, we can see a lot more manipulation on the 1-minute time frame, and that's why I love looking at the 15 and the 5 so much, because it really clears up a lot of that uncertainty for us. Okay, not ready to get that entry just yet, but it looks like we're trying to head up. Touch into that 1-minute imbalance here. We're just not, we're not seeing a lot of follow through just yet. We have this 1-minute bullish order block we're trying to form, but we need to see displacement of that order block before, even just on the 1-minute, seeing displacement is really important here. Again, if these longs are stepping in, that ultimate target would be that at least targeting that Asia high to grab that buy side liquidity if the longs are going to step in here. Let's see how that 5-minute just closed. Bullish close on the 5-minute. Strong bullish close on the 5 minute. No more inverse on that one there. Let's look at the 15. Yeah, we have major SMT. That's what I was talking about earlier when I wanted to see those shorts come in after seeing that big SMT reaction off that imbalance up here. NQ grabbing London high, and then we came right back up. So that's why I'm really just waiting for this 15-minute confirmation. Waiting for that 15-minute confirmation here. Okay, you can see already at market open we're doing a lot of up and down. A lot of up and down so far. Saw that big drop. Wanted to see if the shorts would continue. They didn't. We rebalance, and then we come right back down. Retesting VWAP again. So this is why I'm really focusing on that 5 and 15-minute time frame. We can see on the 5-minute there's not really a trade I'd want to take here. Not just yet. 15-minute, I do want to see if we're going to respect this 15-minute imbalance. It's that same imbalance here. I don't know why I deleted it. So 15-minute busy right here. All right, so on a 15-minute time frame, it looks like we're trying to respect that imbalance and we're trying to head up. But again, with that SMT at the top, grabbing 2 key liquidity levels here. Just need to see a lot of confirmation. Okay, 5 minutes looking really good. But again, this ranging behavior. Not trying to get caught in the range. Don't want to get caught in the range today. Let's see. So, yeah, in about 18 minutes, we're going to have that news. About 18 minutes. But if we see a trade before that news comes out, I'll be looking to take one. If we don't see anything good and we just continue to see this ranging price action leading up to the news, then I won't look to jump into anything. Okay, so we're still respecting this level. We're just not getting enough movement right now. And we're just ranging too much. Obviously, this 5 and 15 look like we're really trying to pump here. You can see that strong move down, we move right back up. All right, that's that typical strong bullish close candle that we see on the 5-minute that we're trying to push up, but still don't have enough conviction right now. Let's go up to an hourly. I do want to talk about we can see on an hourly we had this, remember we had this balanced price range. Price traded into it, respecting that 50% level. Pump up. Price trades back into it, respecting that 50% level still, pumping back up. So we create a higher low here on NQ. We just don't create a higher high. So we can see that ranging type of behavior here, especially on this 1 hour time frame. The 1 hour is very indecisive. Very indecisive here. So this 15 minutes about to close. About 30 seconds. Let's see if we want to respect this imbalance. Already got displacement of that high. Again, we're really just ranging up and down. We might see us move like this until that news comes out, and then we'll see that news, accelerate us. Depending on if it's going to be negative or positive news. So we're about to close on the 15 here. Okay, so we closed all the way at the bottom. We still respected that level. Still respected the imbalance. 5-minute does not look good. I don't like how this 5-minute looks. So none of my time frames right now that I'm looking at, I'm not really liking. Not really liking any of the time frames just yet until we really see a nice breakout move. Okay, it's kind of like yesterday when we see this stuff on the 5 minute does not make me really want to jump into any trades until I can see us really clearly displace, these previous highs, or actually come down and try to displace some lows. So just really waiting for that. Gonna be patient. And wait for a nice setup for, possibly taking us up to that Asia high to get some liquidity. All right, grab some of that external liquidity. Right now we're very indecisive. And as I said on that daily time frame, guys, we have to be aware that we are bouncing. Right, we're going from bearish fair value gap to bullish fair value gap on the daily. Okay, as long as we're staying above VWAP and we keep this structure on the daily time frame, it looks like we want to push through back to the upside. That's how it looks. But as we said before, the news will completely destroy any technical analysis levels a lot. Like right when that news comes out, it'll really push us in a different direction. So we have to be aware of that. All right, just look at that 5 minute. It's that same candle we saw, same type of thing we saw in the last 5 minute. Where we just came down, we tried to push up. And then we came down. Yeah, exactly. That news will really, really, really mess with our levels. So, yeah, so far, very choppy. No setups. Looks like we're not going to see much until news is released, which is okay. We don't need to jump into any trades until we really see something clear. SMT on the 5 and the 15. Yeah, we've had this SMT at the highs. Yeah, we can see here. Now ES is taking out that high, NQ is not. So yeah, a lot of SMT. We're still sitting above VWAP. No, we are not in any trades right now. Market is very choppy so far. Very choppy. Nothing clear is setting up just yet. And all you really have to do is look at this 5 minute time frame just to be able to tell that our market's not looking great. All right, since market open, trade all the way down, trade all the way back up, trade down, trade all the way back up, come back down. Right, so just ranging behavior here. So 5 minute close, another bearish candle. Got 10 minutes until that news is released. See if we can break out of it. Get something good. Guys, there's nothing here that I would look to trade whatsoever. I'm sure some people are finding out right now. They're probably getting chopped up trying to trade this up and down stuff. They're trying to go long, they're trying to go short, they're getting stopped out. There's nothing here telling us that we should be getting into a trade right now. At least in my opinion. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm waiting for, really. Is either we catch that move up to grab, we catch that move to grab liquidity, and then we're able to reverse, or we wait for that move to happen. We wait for that external liquidity to get taken, like this Asia high, right? And then we wait to see if we get displacement, or if we're going to come right back down. That's when we're really going to see a nice setup, especially going into Silver Bullet hour. That's when we'll see something good. For sure. We really just got to wait for that to happen. Like right now, there's no need for me to be in a trade. Another day at Chop City. Well, let's hope it's just right now. Let's hope we're getting that chop right now, just pre-news. Right, it makes sense. People are, preparing for the news, see what it's going to look like, what direction it's going to take people. It's going to take the market. Again, this is all accumulation. We're just grabbing orders right now, waiting for that news to come out to make that expansion move or that liquidity run. Even the VIX is indecisive. The VIX is doing a lot of up and down stuff. So, yeah, I mean, patience is key here today. Patience is key. Again, I'm really going to be focusing and emphasizing the 5 and the 15-minute time frame. These are what we got to look out for. Those two time frames are going to tell us a lot about this market. Typically, after seeing this divergence, after seeing NQ sweep this liquidity level up here, we can see this high get swept. All right, that one, and we can see over here on ES, we did not sweep. We can also see that NQ grabbed London high. ES did not. We can see ES respecting this 15-minute bearish imbalance. So after seeing all this, if I would think we're trying to drop, right? I would think we're trying to go grab some sell-side liquidity. But again, with this ranging, we can't really find a good setup right now. So pre-news, these levels might go completely out the door with our news. So patience here. We've only got about 5 minutes and 20 seconds left until that news comes out. All right, and we'll give it a few minutes. We'll see how crazy, how volatile it is. See what direction it wants to take us. See if we're going to grab that liquidity. And we'll be looking for a setup. All right, the 5 minute looks like it's preparing to try to drop, but again, we just don't have any good price action. So just look at that. Look at that. This is our accumulation range right now. So we'll wait for that manipulation after this. All right, which news will probably take us into that, manipulation leg. And then we'll wait for that distribution leg. And we'll be able to catch a lot better of a risk to reward setup. Yep, we can't seem to get out of that open candle. Yeah, right in the middle of it exactly. Okay, we're starting to move down a little bit. Starting to grab some sell side liquidity underneath these lows. Testing VWAP here. Getting some divergence already. We're starting to prepare for that news. Getting SMT at the lows. Grabbing sell side. Like I said, our 5-minute looked like it was preparing to try to head down. Retesting that 15-minute bullish order block here. 3 minutes left until this hourly close. And we will see what happens. So we're trying to come grab this low down here. Grab that liquidity. So we just grabbed that liquidity on NQ. SMT here. Same low down here on ES. We're not grabbing it. All right, we can see this 15-minute bullish order block here, right? We saw that bounce off of it earlier. Looks like we're getting a bounce off of it again right now. Heading right back up. All right, looks like we might be setting up a power of 3. We do have VWAP right here. We'll see if NQ wants to push through VWAP, push through these imbalances. And when that news comes out, see if we're gonna get that move up to take out buy side. And we're still respecting our imbalance here on the 1 minute. Still sitting below VWAP on NQ. Got 40 seconds until this news comes out. And we will see what that release looks like. Again, the forecast for the job openings is 8.37 million. Previous was 8.49, so they're already expecting less. So we'll see if it misses the mark or hits the mark here. And look at that. Look at that manipulation. Like I said, we're probably going up to grab Asia high right now. We're going to grab that liquidity. It's a power of 3. Data is still pending. So we've grabbed some buy side. Data is still pending here, waiting for it to release. Yep, I mean we can see that. Okay, we missed the mark pretty bad here. So pretty negative news there. Very negative news. So, right, we got that manipulation move up. We're grabbing that buy side liquidity. Looks like we're going to try to head down. Let's see if we want to go grab London high first. We will see here. Inverse that 15. Okay, so we've already grabbed a liquidity level up top. ES went and finally got close to that London high. Hasn't taken it yet. Really just waiting for us to go grab that Asia high. Okay, we're getting close. You can see, guys, they just set everybody up right here. This is the market manipulation. They're setting everybody up to go short. Boom. News pumps, grabs buy side liquidity here. So I'm just waiting for that level to get taken out. Waiting for this Asia high to get swept. We might not even want to go sweep it. We might not even want to reach that high. Alright, but this is exactly what I was talking about, right? We accumulate, manipulate down, grab all of these orders here, and then news comes out and we just pump, targeting our buy side liquidity. Alright, now I just want to see us go grab that external liquidity level up top and then reverse. Okay, because that news did come out very negative. Let's see how this 5-minute closes. See if this 5-minute closes with displacement above our London high or if it's going to close below. We can look at this little leg here. We got that golden zone down here on the power of 3. 5-minute closes in 1 minute. So we still got a minute until that candle closes. We're seeing us really struggle up at this level after grabbing liquidity already. So we might start to see that drop come into play. Let's see though. Like, we need to see if we're going to respect this power of 3 and still try to make a move up to grab that external liquidity. Right? If we trade back down to VWAP, fill this fair value gap, and still try to make that push up to grab the external, or if we're going to push right through, disrespect these levels, and we'll be able to start looking for the shorts. Okay, so we're touching into that 1 minute now. Again, seeing this 5-minute close like that doesn't tell me right now that we're going to try to continue long. We just grab liquidity, we close way below. Again, we still got to look at that 15 as well, but that 15 is getting a lot of pullback here. All right, so now I'm looking to see, are we going to push through this level, close below VWAP? That's when I start looking for shorts. So now I'm looking for shorts here. So now I'm looking for a real setup, something clear, something good. I want to see us close below this imbalance on the 1 minute at least. Close below VWAP here. I want to see ES pushing down. Right, we didn't grab that Asia high, which I wanted to see us do, but we still grabbed buy side liquidity. I mean, just look at the 15 minute. 15 minute looks very bearish here. 5 minutes looking very bearish. So now I just am waiting for a setup. Waiting for a setup. Let's hope we don't want to range up and down right now. Just want to see us set up something nice here. A little imbalance. Above. Balance price range above. 15 minute looks extremely bearish after grabbing that liquidity. Looks like we're going to go target. Looks like we're trying to go target all that sell side. Again, just waiting for that entry opportunity here. Okay, we're touching into that 1 minute. A little aggressive right now. A little aggressive for my liking, but I want to see that reaction. Okay, we're bouncing off of it. Bouncing off VWAP. Yeah, I'll go into a half a lot to start. Again, we're still bullish on this candle. I want to see us really start to head down. I like that we're still sitting below VWAP, but this is why we want to be careful. I'm not necessarily looking for displacement because of how everything is looking because of that news, but that would be a little bit better to wait for that displacement. Okay, I'm liking that reaction there. I'm liking that reaction so far. Let's just see if we want to get a continuation. Again, yeah, we probably want to wait for a displacement. We can see we're still bouncing off that 15-minute bullish order block. This is why we're waiting. Don't want to get caught up on that 1 minute too much. Okay, I'm liking these reactions though. Just need to see some follow through to the downside here. Need to see if we're going to actually try to close below. All right, we want to see if we're going to close below this low here. At least start to get an aggressive move down. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. I want to start looking for these shorts. This 5-minute candle is about to close. We displace this low on the 5-minute. I'm still liking these shorts here. Just waiting for that right entry. Okay, Okay, if we're to get an entry down here, we're not going to have the best stop loss. But again, we might see that breakout happen at any moment. Alright, so if you can afford to have a bigger stop loss, you can get an entry down here. But we still have not displaced just yet. We still have not displaced. You just don't want to get caught in this ranging price action. Notice how we keep bouncing off that 15-minute bullish order block down here. This 15-minute candle still looks extremely bearish. This is that reversal candle. Yeah, it's our only data release, so this is when we want to catch that trade. Right, we have more volume in the market. We could see the market die down this PM session. Right, this is the hard part about getting these entries, guys, is you can see how much we're moving per candle. We're moving a lot. We're still chopping here. We're still chopping. We're failing to displace this low. I'm still liking these shorts overall, guys. I do think these shorts are trying to come in. It's just about getting that dialed in entry. If we get it down here, our stop loss is not going to be at a very good spot. Looks like we're really trying to get that breakout here. But again, even if we do break out, right, and say we drop a little bit, we still have that target all the way down to London low as that ultimate target, so we still have a lot of reward. Let's say even if we miss out on this initial drop, if we do drop because we're waiting for actual displacement, I'm willing to wait for that displacement. Five minutes looking really good. Let's just see if we can close beneath these lows here. Right, so we've started that silver bullet move, right? We grabbed that buy side liquidity. Now we're waiting for a good fair value gap entry to go target opposing liquidity down at London low. Waiting for that displacement here. Once we can close below these lows, we're going to be good, right? So we're seeing that move now. We're seeing that move start to happen now. Again, like I said, you could take that aggressive entry up here. You could have taken that entry here. It's just hard with our stop losses all the way down at this level. So this 15 minutes about to close. We can see strong close. We're going to mitigate. It looks like we're trying to mitigate the 50% of this order block. Let's see how we close. Okay, so we close below that 50%. We've displaced on the 1 minute, displaced on the 5 minute. So now it's getting that fair value gap entry is what I'm looking for now. Getting that fair value gap entry on the 1 minute. we got to be careful because we did just grab these equal lows, right? We grabbed some equal lows. We're not really wanting to create many fair value gap entries, but I did like that we got displacement on the 5-minute. See us pulling all the way back here. I'm very willing to be patient here, guys. It looks like we want to drop. It looks like we want to continue to grab sell side, but we're still kind of manipulating back up, so. Gonna continue with this patience here. ES is back above VWAP. Created these equal lows. We got SMT at the lows here. Right, I want to start looking for shorts, but we're seeing a lot of difference here between NQ and ES. So yeah, 5 minutes touching that order block here. This is a very easy market to get chopped up because you can look at this is a 55 tick stop I have out on my charts here. And look at all of these candles. Every one of these candles is more than 55 ticks, right? Each 1 minute candle is 55 ticks or more. So we got to be careful because of that manipulation. Yeah, so really no actual expansion move so far. And we got that displacement of these lows. We did grab equal lows. I did expect us I still expect us to try to come back down. Like JB said, all of our, top 10 companies in the NASDAQ are red. We're getting divergence up at these highs. NQ still sitting below VWAP. But we just are really just stalling up here. We're just stalling. See how that last 5 minute close. Last 5 minute candle closed bullish here. Pretty strong bullish close. We're just ranging right back up. Back into that fair value gap here. Back into that balanced price range. Okay, now we're forming a a bullish breaker on the 1 minute. No, we're still not in anything. We're still waiting. We're doing a lot of ranging right now. Let's see if we want to displace these highs, if we're going to get a nice bounce from that 1 minute again. So we didn't displace those highs. We're getting a strong bounce off the 1 minute one more time. Looks like we're trying to head back down. Again, just so much ranging. ES is still sitting above VWAP, but I do like that reaction after grabbing a little bit of buy side. Again, just really waiting for that A+ setup to form. I'm liking that reaction on the 15 minute. I'm liking that candle on the 5 minute. And so far, really only scalping opportunities. I still think we're heading down. We're still waiting for just a clear setup here. Oh yeah, hourly looks extremely bearish. Like, we look like we're trying to go target that London low for sure. We just gotta not get manipulated, get chopped up, get a really good entry to try to catch that actual move down to London lows. So I think is starting to set up here. Notice how we're not really creating any fair value gaps on any of this stuff down here. Yeah, exactly. No solid, clear order blocks. Lowest level in over 3 years. All right, so we would expect NQ to really drop after that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's even if we miss out on that initial move, we still have so much reward. We can look here from where we're at right now. All right, we're still 300 ticks away from that London low. So to me, there's no point in rushing into a trade during the ranging chop just to get stopped out before we can really actually catch that move. Right, I'm always looking at this 5 and 15 minute. 5 and 15 minute aren't showing me enough right now. We're still bouncing from that 15 minute order block. Good morning, Enrique. It is Chop City right now. We're hanging out in Chop City. Trying to get on the plane to Expansion Town, but they're not letting us on right now. They're saying my ticket is invalid or something like that. They're saying I need a passport. No, no trades yet, Deep. We're still chopping. We're just waiting for an expansion move. Going into this 10:30 time frame is when I would want to see us start to really make that move. See another 5-minute close. Still in this chop. So we're just waiting to get out of this chop here. We're just kind of chilling at VWAP. Let's see if we can do something. No, we don't have any more news, any more data releases today. But typically, during our Silver Bullet hour, if we don't move in the first 30 minutes, I expect us to make a move in that last 30 minutes. Back into this imbalance again. Mitigating that 50% level there. Back above VWAP. And guys, in our past days, getting chopped up, getting manipulated, I am very okay with sitting on the sideline right now until we see something good. Again, still looking at this 5-minute. This 5-minute does not show us anything good right now. 15 minutes still is not showing us anything good. Strong 15-minute close to the upside there. 30-minute close right in the middle of that range. Let's see, 45-minute close. Yeah, look at that. Just right in the middle. Just, you can see we still have that imbalance above. We have this bearish order block still being respected. on the 45. Right now, it looks like we're trying to head right back up for those highs. So I'm just going to continue with this patience. So what's something that we can notice here is ES creating these equal lows. Equal lows being created down here. Maybe seeing us go grab buy side one more time. We might see a ranging market today. We might see some seek and destroy conditions. We're going to go grab buy side, come back down, grab sell side. Okay, so it looks like longs are trying to go grab Asia highs. Look at the 5 minute. 5 minutes starting to look pretty bullish. Yep, exactly. Like right now, there's no point. I am not looking to just jump into a trade. We're still in this range. So really what would be nice for us to see would be an external liquidity grab. Right? If we can come up and grab Asia high and then see that reversal and then catch the shorts, right? Whenever we grab external liquidity, not always, but we typically will see reversal come into play after that. Right, like grabbing that Asia high up here. You can actually see we do have actually a bearish breaker. High, low, higher, high. On the 15 minute. Notice what happened when we tested it the first time. Got that drop during London session. So just look at this price action, guys. This is just all over the place right now. Let's look at that hourly. Yeah, we got that swing high here. Yep. Yeah, I mean, price action is not great. Better just to sit on the sidelines until it's good. So we see the 1 minute come all the way up. Touch into that 1 minute. Drop all the way back down near VWAP. Not even grabbing liquidity. This is why I don't take trades inside of ranges like this. One minute imbalance created here. Let's see what type of reaction we get off of it. 5 minute came all the way back down, closed down here. Just So this is our morning range from this low at 10:10, this high right here at 10 a.m. Those are our two highs. There's been weeks where I've only taken maybe like one or two trades the whole week because of a bad week. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely been weeks where I've just stayed out of the market for sure. There's gonna be those weeks where we don't really want to be putting risk into the market. Yep. Like JB said, guys, June is a very tough one. June's a tough one. All right, and that's why we're coming into it with this mindset. Where if we understand if price action is going to be hard to trade, we're not going to be coming in with a very aggressive mindset. At least I'm not going to be. Okay, so we're making a move back down to the bottom of the range. So, like I said earlier, without any more data releases today, we will probably see a range, most likely for the whole day. We'll definitely at least see, maybe one or two liquidity grabs, maybe at least one external liquidity grab. But I do think we're going to see a lot of ranging, like we've seen so far. Right, and it's one thing if it's seek and destroy and we can catch some good, quick reversals, quick scalps after taking sell side or after taking buy side. But this is just not, I just don't like this stuff. So yeah, no trades so far today. Not upset about that. We've pretty much just been hovering around VWAP the whole day, right? We go up a little bit above it, come down below it, go up above it, come right back down to it. There's no clear levels for us. All right, if we came in today just looking at that 1 minute time frame, just imagine how many times you could have gotten faked out on this 1 minute. I mean, there could have been a few scalps. Like we could have looked to short, off this 1 minute fair value gap. But again, there's no continuation down. You could have still caught a scalp. But then what do? We just chop after. We just chop. We see this crazy pump. Oh yeah, price is going to continue. Drops all the way back down. Crazy pump. Oh yeah, price is going to continue. Drops back down. Chop here, just 1 minute craziness. So that's why we can just look at the 5 and the 15 and see. No bueno. No bueno. See if we're gonna actually go grab some buy side, right? If we can go grab some buy side and we start to see a reversal move, that's when we can start looking for a move back down to the bottom of the range. We got to make sure it's just a liquidity grab though. Oh yeah, this is not a day that I'm going to be really trying to hold on to my trades. Yeah, unless we catch it at the perfect time where there's actually a real breakout, let's say. But this is the type of day where I'm just looking to sell my whole position at that liquidity level. So we're starting to break up right now. Let's see if we can go. If we can go grab these highs. See if we can go grab these highs. So we've grabbed another liquidity level. Pumped right through this bearish imbalance. That's why we're not really focusing on the 1 minute. Okay, so we're breaking out. So CRT, so like candle range theory. It's basically displacing our previous ranges, right? Previous ranges with closes above, closes below. So it's kind of what we talk about already. Right, each candle is its own, technically its own range. Each high to low is its own range. So just waiting for displacement of those ranges at the highs or the lows. That's kind of a very basic kind of breakdown of that. All right, so higher high is created. Higher low is created. So we would really try to, like here, I would expect us to still be trying to go up and grab that Asia high. Okay, but I'm not going to long at the top of this range. I'm not going to look to long at the top of a range. The only time I look to long at the top of a range is if we've actually broken out of that range. Right, like we're talking about, we actually get displacement on our 5 or 15 minute time frame. Then I would look to long at the top if we've been waiting for that displacement, because as long as there's still a lot of reward on that trade that we're looking to take. But if we're sitting at the top of the range, we haven't broken out, we haven't displaced, I'm not going to look to take any longs up here. As nice as the setup may look, as nice as structure may look, I'm just not looking to take that up here. And when we see this range in behavior today, that is just not what I'm going to do. So if we have to, if we sit here and we don't see any clear price action, I will not take any trades. Okay, and I will be completely content with sitting on my hands and not taking any trades. Every day we come into the market expecting to take a trade, right? Expecting to see a good setup, expecting to win. But sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes we just don't see those setups. Sometimes we have bad price action. And you have to be able to not take trades if you don't see anything good. That's how you start getting to that next level. That's how you build that discipline. But these are those days where you see people blowing their PA accounts because they are so just wanting to jump into trades. They think it's finally going to be the breakout. They try to trade the chop. They're getting so eager just to get a payout, just to make some money, and they get chopped up. And they start scaling up, right? You start to scale up. This is just basic psychology for trading, right? For beginners, or just it happens to everybody. You start losing on your PA or your live account, and then you want to make that money back. So then you start over leveraging, start taking bigger trades, and then you start not seeing the market. You just start taking random trades because now you've let your emotions take over. Remember I talked about last week or the week before is that idea of when you have a heightened sense of emotions, you're not going to be making clear decisions. You're not going to have clarity in the market. You're going to start taking bad trades. You're not going to stick to your plan because now you're full of emotion. And that's what this type of market will do to you. This is that type of market. It's just that ranging. You're just waiting for the breakout, waiting for the breakout. You keep trying to take trades, trying to get that breakout, and it just doesn't happen. And then you're going to be stuck sitting there with a blown account, and then finally that breakout happens when you could have just waited for it to happen and taken a trade. But you didn't want to wait, so now you can't even take that trade because you took so many ill-advised trades before that. My longest cold streak, well, in terms of when I got good at trading, my longest cold streak was actually, I don't know exactly like how many days, because even when I like lose, I still have winning days kind of in between. Even when I'm on kind of a cold streak, but January and February of this month were by far my worst trading months that I've had. Yeah, those 2 months I couldn't get it figured out. It was really tough. But it didn't mean that I was blowing account after account after account. I just couldn't get my, I just was having a tough time. And remember when I said like I was going through personal stuff, right? My mind wasn't there. So I let that stuff kind of translate over to my trading. And that's why it's so important to take care of your mental health, right? Take care of your personal issues. Don't let that affect your trading. JB, would you wanna maybe hop on it and speak about that job openings and how it's gonna affect our market? Yeah, let me invite you to speak here. How you doing, JB?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Yeah, this is a tough week to be in the market. It's a tough month. Also, it's historically one of the hardest months to work in because we're looking at we're going into the end of the second quarter. Also, we're at the end of the first half of the year. So there's a lot of moving parts that are working against us as far as retail traders this week. This week is also known as the blackout week. This is the week in which FMO speakers are not allowed to speak about the market. They're going through all their decision-making processes, so we won't really hear from FMOC until we get into like June 11th, right? So the market is kind of left in limbo. Now, if you're trying to say, okay, where are the breadcrumbs, right? Well, that's what's going on this week. The numbers that are coming through the press right now are numbers not for the FMOC decision-making process for June, all right? That's already, that's pretty much a baked cake, okay? The market has already adjusted that. They've already adjusted to coming to realization that they're not going to see one in July. So that is what's going on this week because the market is reading the numbers as they're coming across the press, and they're trying to begin to start internalizing if these numbers are coming in hot and heavy. When I say hot and heavy, it's like, for example, what is the focus of the FMOC board? Their focus is to get inflation down to 2%, right? So if, for example, if job numbers come in higher than expected, that means that employers are keeping people on the payroll longer, which means there's fewer job openings. That is going to impact because the whole predication of the FOMC is what we're going to raise the interest rates. That means that people have to pay more on the credit cards, pay more on an automobile or more on housing. Okay, if the economy is continually telling the feds that we just got spending power, right? We're just spending and spending and spending. Well, then the feds have no options but to leave the interest rates, which they've chose so far, to be stable. They're not going to cut the rates. I predict they're not going to cut the rates in September. That's what the whole market is setting up this week. That's what they're looking for, okay? Because September right now is teetering between a 50-50, whether they get a rate cut or not. The next opportunity for them to do a rate cut would be 2 days after the presidential election. There's a lot of people trying to get into a lot of conversation about, okay, will the feds cut the rates because of going into presidential elections? No. Historically, the feds have either maintained the interest rate or they've even raised interest rates in presidential election years, right? So what we got going on here is you can't, it's like the Titanic, right? You can't pick the Titanic up out of the ocean and turn it around on a dime and send it back in a different direction, right? This economy is so big and so massive, you just cannot turn the inflation around that quick, that fast. But there's been some talk, and I called this back in December last year. I say I don't see the numbers because the inflation was just not where it needs to be at, right? Um, Whether it's 3.2% if you look year over year, but the problem is it's still 19% when Biden took office, right? So the American frontline people who buy and purchase products, that is a that is what is impacting their decision. A lot of people are on credit right now. That's going to be the next couple of reports that come out very shortly. They're okay, how much are people spending in credit, which means they're losing buying power because they're buying it off of credit for their groceries, gasoline, and they're beginning to max out their credit, which means it's going to start slowing down at some point. The other part is what, well, if you raise the interest rates, then people won't buy products. Then companies will not be able to produce products, which means people will be put out of a job. And that's where it gets back to your question about the job numbers. That and it's a sick way of looking at it. They were talking about this on Capitol Hill just a few days ago in one of their meetings. That the whole intent, for all intents and purposes, if you raise the interest rate, you're trying to put people out of work, so people cannot purchase stuff or put enough pain on them. They will not purchase a product. So if you look through the market insight or the market news, that one chart I put together for you, you see it?
Yeah,
The
let me
major U.S. the major U.S. economic reports and Fed speakers for the week?
Yes, yeah, I have it pulled up.
Yeah, yeah. So this week I just okay. I'm gonna just make this easy. Okay, all these red ones are all leading directly straight into the Fed's decision whether to cut interest rates in June. And each one of these reports are coming out. The one that's the non-farm payroll is coming up on Friday this week, right? That is going to be the one that the whole market is, for all intents and purposes, that's what they're waiting. The initial jobless claims comes out on Thursday. Okay, you got ADP employment. So you kind of you see kind of the story that's being told here this week. Job openings, where ADP is what? They're the people who cut paychecks for major companies, right? So that's another number to look at. Initial jobless claims. That's another one. The non-farm payroll is kind of the crescendo, right? So in theory, if you're on the FMOC board, you would like to see unemployment higher, more jobless claims. That means people are not able to purchase, which means by supply and demand, that tells you what? That demand should be coming down, right? And that should curb and curtail inflation. At some point, I can't tell you exactly when, but at some point, when the market comes to reality that they're not going to get a rate cut September, the market will pull back 250 points to 1,000 ticks. That's what happened back in April, whenever one of those Feds got up here and started speaking on that Friday, and the market just bled off like 1,000 ticks, right? And then coming back on that money, it bled off another 1,000 ticks, right? So that's what is kind of working here. I think to your point, and what you're saying is being very conservative this week. If you're going to snipe, have a good snipe set up, get in, get out. I wouldn't trust throwing a brick no further than I can with this market this week, because you can just see here what is set up for you. And that's kind of like the high level overview without really getting into the real weeds about this stuff, because there's a lot of new people and they look at this stuff, they're like, man, this is crazy. I don't even know what this stuff means, right?
Yeah.
And they start scratching your head and you get overwhelmed. Well, what we're trying to do here for the new members or people who are brand new at this is that, listen, we don't want you to really spend all your life looking at reports. We don't want you to spend all day in fundamentals. We don't want you all day chasing down this. We're summarizing this very compact for you. Now, if you're brand new, say, John, how do I use this one chart? Well, this one chart says what? For example, today it was 10 o'clock, right? Well, if I'm a new person, I would not be in a trade 15 minutes prior to 10 o'clock. Why? Well, it's giving yourself a cushion. So let's hypothetically, as you get into a trade, let's say, you know, 9:45, right? Well, then you got 15 minutes to get out of a trade. I'm not gonna say you're gonna stay in a trade for 15 minutes, but if you, I've got myself caught in situations where my back was right against the wall and I was able to exit out that trade right prior to 10, right? But if you click over that 10 o'clock, you're kind of pretty much gambling at that point. But that's the reason I was trying to say for new traders, just go ahead and get out 15 minutes prior and then wait 15 minutes afterwards of the data release. That allows the market to settle itself back down. Now, if you look at some of these time frames that are coming up late, in all intents and purposes, we say we're not going to trade the market open, right? Well, if you got to say, listen, I got to be out of the trade 15 minutes prior to 10 o'clock. Now that's 9:45. Well, guess what? We're going to say we're going to let the market sift out. You technically are not, as a new trader, you're not in a trade to almost 10:30 in the morning. Okay, on some of these key data release days, right? But if you make that, we're not saying you can't use your own money the way you want. I mean, if you want to go ahead and get in there and fight with them, highly skilled individuals, get in there and shake it out. There are people, and the other one I like to make a point here. There are people who are MIT. Harvard, Stanford. I mean, these are high college profile people who have been trained to specifically trade the market, who lose money. Okay, they get it wrong too, you know. And I feel for some of these guys because I'm sure some of these guys are sitting this is like the hard week for a lot of investors because if let's say if you already made two or three bad decisions and lost a couple $1 million, you probably already in an office and they've given you a pink slip telling you you make one more mess up, you probably won't have a job by Friday. Okay, so for retail investors, we get hard on ourselves, saying like listen, man, like I can't get this. Well, listen, you're so new and you're so fresh at it. You got to give yourself some breathing room. You got to give yourself some leniency to say, listen, I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna make the best I can at it, and just know that other people today are losing money. Losing money. For everybody that makes money, somebody loses money. Okay, so that's a lot of what's going on. But what I try to do is in that section for you is to set it up for saying like, hey, the this way I look at NQ. NQ is built off four key components, and it took me the longest time. People have been trading for years would not talk to me because it's kind of like the sauce. There's a lot of traders. The more I know, the less you know, the better off I am, right? They would not give you the secret sauce. Well, the secret sauce for NQ is what? The first thing you have to look for is what? What are the top 10 companies doing, right? Of the NASDAQ 100. They're heavily weighted. They don't change weight. They only get realigned like once a year. So you always know Microsoft's number one. You know Nvidia's number three. Like you have to know these like the back of your hand. That's the reason I put that one chart there because very quickly, if all 10 are in the red and the market is in the red, the currency's in the red, guess what? It's going to be a red day. And vice versa, So that's the first thing you need to know the company. And I do it like a paint, like with one screen with 8 charts. I don't put no nothing. I just keep it set right there. So I keep that on my peripheral vision. Let's say Amazon, like this morning, Amazon was dumping, right? Guess what was happening to NQ? It was dumping, right? Same thing. If NVIDIA moves, guess what? NQ moves. Period. End discussion. So if you got your top 10, you know those top 10, you see them where they're going, what's going on. That's going to give you an indicator of how the NQ's move. Next one, company earnings. You got to know company earnings. This week we don't have no company earnings. It's a great day, great week this week, right? But in the weeks, for example, you have Microsoft or you have NVIDIA or Costco or Brock. Any of those top 10 are reporting earnings. Guess what? You have to know that because guess what? If they're reporting in the evening, if they report in the evening, guess what? It will show back up at 9:30 in the morning. You say, John, why is that? Okay. Well, the reason is that the people who have bought into options, they're locked out of the market. And if a company reports at like 422, like Nvidia did prior week, guess what? If you got an option, you're locked. You can't get out of that option until 9:30 the following morning. So all that volatility from PM, let's say Thursday evening, will show back up. Let's, for example, on Friday morning at 9:30. So you got to know the company stocks, how they move each day. You have to know the company earnings. The next one is you have to know your data releases and your Fed speakers, and then the interest rate. Those are that's literally that's about as simple as you can make it, right? And then the good thing about what like you do, you then take over and you strip up the chart part and put technicals to it, right?
Exactly.
So you're getting two good you got your fundamentals now. If I'm a trader, say, oh man, like today, market was red. All of the top 10 were red. All the currencies were red. Guess what? I don't care. It's going to go red, right? And then the data's coming in. Guess what? It's going to like so you are in your mind. You're kind of setting the day up. So I apologize. I got knocked over a lot. But anyway, so
those are things you need to know. And then on the macro scale, like the macro, what is the market doing this week? You're painting a picture. The market is looking for what is the job numbers looking for. A lot of these numbers, like you're saying, it's ranging. Guess what? A lot of these big companies, like Schwab, right? Merrill Lynch, these big investors are waiting for some of these key reports. Guess what? They're not going to shift a lot of institutional money around until they start seeing the picture painted up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it'll crescendo as we get closer and closer and closer to Friday. Now, what's also big on Friday? Well, think about this. NVIDIA goes to a 10-to-1 split on Friday morning. I mean, on Friday evening, right? So there's going to be a mad dash on NVIDIA. Guess what? I already said if NVIDIA moves, guess what happens? NQ moves, right? So there's going to be a lot of people trying to get on the action because it's a 10-to-1, which means you have to have that stock in your portfolio by 4 p.m. on Friday. Because on Friday morning, anybody, let's say, for example, you got one share, you'll have 10 shares on Monday morning, right? So Friday is like one of those days. You already know going into Friday, okay, I got non-farm payroll. I've got NVIDIA, right? So and like the Fed, that all these companies, I mean all these big companies that shift institutional monies around are looking and say, I bet you if these numbers come in hot in on Friday, right, with the non-farm, you could probably see a major market correction on Friday. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying the tea leaves are there, right? Then the following week we start rolling into FMOC week, and then we got holiday coming in the middle of this month. So this is like a heavy hitting month, right? You just got to know where your company's at, where your company earnings are at, where are the Feds at, where are the speakers at, where are your data releases at, and you're painting a picture in your mind, okay, and seeing like, okay, I think I got this thing about in my head where it's going to go. This ranging that you're seeing is the market being indecisive about the rate cut in September, and they're waiting for the next report. They're going to wait for the next report. That's your this is your kind of like painting the picture for you this week. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I would always keep when I get in these weeks like this, I have to lean on something, right? And so you really need to look at VIX, right? It's not a like I don't put a like say, John, you put 100% in stock. No, I don't put it. But I'll tell you what, it's pretty darn close putting you in the right ball field, you know what I'm saying? Of where the market is moving. But the problem I have with VIX is once you get down to like the 1 minute time frame, let's say if you're looking at a 15-minute time frame on VIX and you're trying to trade it off the 1 minute, that's kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? Uh, to put two and two together and
Mm-hmm.
match up. So I don't know. I mean, did that help out
Oh yeah.
anyone or
Yeah. No, that helps out a
yeah?
lot. I think we as traders, as retail traders, we can get caught up a little too much in our technical analysis sometimes and don't focus on the fundamental, and we kind of lose track of why is the market moving like it is today. Well, you just explained it, right? It makes it so much easier to understand when the market is not going to be um, offering us, a lot of points or a lot of ticks, because, like you said, the everybody's really waiting to see what these numbers are looking like throughout the week from all of our data releases. So, no, yeah,
Well,
that helps a lot.
there's a pro and a con. Every instrument you trade, you got a pro and a con, right? The pro about NQ is guess what? You're looking at one instrument. That is it, right? And you look under the hood of that instrument, and you don't have to look too far to figure out where NQ's going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus if you're trading stocks, man, and if you're trading like 15 stocks, you're trying to keep up 15 charts, and you're trying to make like 15 different decisions to do 15 fundamentals. I mean, I don't even, I got so freaking frustrated with that. I said, this is nonsense. And I went to options and I was tired of the Greek gods. I mean, Greek gods, and then when I got to futures, I finally said, it was like the clouds parted,
Oh yeah, that's
blue
how it was
skies.
for me too.
It's like, man, it's like, dude, this is easy. Like, this is easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just got every instrument you trade. You just really have to get intimate with it a little bit. I think NQ and ES are easier instruments to get comfortable with, especially if you're a brand new trading, just because of the fact that you're not scattered all over the freaking place. There's one other thing I wanted to kind of mention real quick, like, is that we've had two major geopolitical issues that, things that popped up this week that beyond, of course, the Middle East and Ukraine. Those are giving right now. But you had elections in India. It looks like he's going to maintain his power, but it looks like the people up under him, I don't know how they align their government. It's going to be a little bit more weaker. India stock pulled back quite a bit today. Also, this week we had the first female woman elected president in Mexico. So you got some geopolitical components moving around right now. So those will impact the market too. And the other one thing about NQ is it runs 23 hours, right? So typically, what I do is I look at when Sydney comes online, how Sydney's doing. Because if you just take the clock for a second, right? The world works really off of the U.S. clock, right? So we just released our data today, right? Well, guess what? The Asian market has not caught that into their market yet. Guess what? That's going to roll into Asia. Asia will roll back into what, India, all the way through Saudi Arabia. It rolls all the way to Europe, and then guess what? We're back to New York, right? So this thing is just rolling around trillions and trillions of dollars. But a lot of the decision making process sometimes are on the back of how the United States is functioning, right? And whether anybody likes to argue with it, the U.S. is still one of the strongest economies in the world, right? So when we throw a rock across the pond, it ripples, right? So that's kind of like something you need to look at. But this fundamentals, I try to hope that people don't get so far into it they lose sight. The task for a new person right now is to get into the habit of executing trades,
Mm-hmm.
how to enter, how to exit, how to analyze the chart.
Yeah,
You
that's the
put a
biggest
pack
thing.
you put a yeah, you put a package together where the market insight is, um, the market news, right, is there as part of the service offerings to new people. They don't have to go chase stuff down and waste hours.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just need to know. All I need to know is when, where, and how. That's all I need to know. So I can go back focusing on my execution of my trades, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and
exactly.
I think people be really successful at this. It's a great package still. So
Yeah,
I hope that helped y'all out. So
yeah. Appreciate you a lot, JB. Thanks for hopping on and helping us out. Yeah, super important to understand. And guys, just I just want to thank you, JB, for all you do for us. It's yeah, it's like you said, it's so helpful. To not have to go and do all of that research, and just to be able to really focus on our technical analysis, especially as beginners. If you're a beginner trader, it can be so overwhelming to have to focus on all of these different fundamental factors. When it's just right there on our Discord, it's amazing, right? You can just go in there, see what JB is talking about, see what he is telling us about the market. But like JB was saying, well, first I want to say there's still no trades in this market that I'm wanting to take, guys. We're still just ranging. We're still chopping. There's I've been watching this market the whole time. There's just nothing that I've wanted to take so far. We can see all this stuff. But back to kind of what JB was saying is, yeah, for beginners, you really want to just focus on your technical analysis. You want to focus on learning your strategy and getting that strategy down and being able to start executing trades in the market and getting comfortable with that. Once you're comfortable with that, that's when you can start really focusing more on news, focusing more on data releases, and really seeing the whole market, the whole scope, right? Being able to see everything. That it's just important to first be starting off with technical analysis, and that's why, guys, trading always goes down. It goes back to technical analysis, right? It's where are these levels? How are we trading these levels? But once you have all that down and you're really comfortable with it, that's when you're really looking at, okay, what news release is coming out today? How is that going to affect our market? And that's why you always hear me talking about it, because it's so important. Because if we don't focus on that, we're going to be like, well, why did the market dump 100 ticks. Why did it dump 500 ticks today? Well, it's because we had really bad data come out, right? Or something fundamental. We had a really bad earnings report for Nvidia or for a different company, right? So we have to pay attention to that, but don't. That's the one reason I really love futures and I love focusing on one index is I used to trade options and I did that whole thing, and like JB was saying, with the Greeks and with focusing on 10 different companies at one time, it's so overwhelming, especially for someone that's new. And it's very difficult. Now, futures can be high risk, high reward, and they can be very volatile, especially in Q. But if you can learn this one index and really understand how it moves and use a few other indices to kind of support your ideas, like ES, that's why I'm always looking at ES, right? If you wanted to look at the VIX, at DXY, if you wanted to look at QQQ or SPY, right? Those are all just confluences for the one market that we're focusing on. And that's why I love futures, is because we are able to focus just on this one market and we're not caught up. We don't have 20 different companies that we're tracking at one time trying to trade. That can be very difficult, especially for someone that's new. So, yeah, I appreciate you, JB, for hopping on and kind of breaking some stuff down for us. It's very valuable.
Yeah, and if somebody's saying, "Look, like I want to learn," okay, then don't get overwhelmed. I would just take one report, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just look at that for the month, maybe, or say, "Listen, I'm maybe for this week, right?" Because these reports repeat themselves like every freaking month, like over it. So once you learn non-farm payroll jobs, guess what? Every freak here it comes. All of a sudden, oh, I got you. Now I know what that is, right? But if you take one report by the end of December, and I highlight the ones you need to look at, I don't half the stuff that people say, "Hey, man, this is news." It's not news, man. It's not going to impact NQ, man. It's like trying to throw a BB gun, right? Trying to shoot a dove with a BB gun, right? It ain't gonna work, right? Certain news events just absolutely will not dent NQ. So all we do is give you the ones that will hit NQ, the ones that will create the volatility, the ones that will show, you know, like at 10 o'clock, guess what? It's going to whip, like crazy, right? And then for those that get more and more skilled, then what happens is how these ports are layering in, and you start. It's like you almost know what's going to happen, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like on inflation week, man. What happens on inflation week? Well, if the the guy who's producing's got inflation, that's number one, and number two, the guy that is making it's got like the guy's producing, right? The guy who's in the middle consuming it, which is the consumer, right? Guess what? The guy bringing it in and importing it, guess what? It's going to have inflation. So it's like you you can almost begin to take your trading really to the next level. And I've made some really good trades on this week because by the first report, I just know how this report's going to go. It's going to go away. I go long, I go short. I go like 6 to 10 cons. I go in there. I know I'm going to make good money, right? But you can't do that unless you have that skill because that is high risk, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
so
exactly.
I like I know a lot of times we try to preach conservative because we want to protect the young, the ones that are beginning to be there. Those who graduated to the intermediate or beginning move a little closer into more liberal, more of an advanced retail trader. Those are skills that give you high rewards, right? Because you know the risk already up front and you're willing to take that risk.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
want to discourage people saying you can't trade it. I'm just saying you've got to be skilled to trade it. Okay. And if you're brand new, it's better just stay in a simulated account. But if you get yourself on up there and you start picking on these reports, you're like, man, oh man, I see this, man. I see it. Like there was like the other week, I just like doom, doom, doom. Guess what? 10 cons on Friday. I was gone. I was done for the week. You don't have to trade every week, every day of the week. Like you said, you don't have to trade every day. That's crazy if you think about it. if you know how to get into some of these key reports and you have to get in some of these key days, man, you make 5, 10 grand, you're done for the week. Close up shop. you know, you've
Yep.
made more money than the average American makes probably for the whole entire month, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've enjoyed speaking with y'all.
Well, we appreciate you, JB.
Yes. Y'all have a great day.
All right. You as well. You as well. We'll talk to you soon.
Mm.
All right, guys. Well, that was awesome. Um, hope you guys enjoyed JB hopping on. I know it's very helpful. Um, just to start learning these ideas. The more advanced you get, like he was saying, the more you start getting to intermediate and advanced as a retail trader, the more you can really start focusing on these things that he's talking about. But if you're at the beginner level, what we really want to be focusing on is our technical analysis. And that's what I try to focus on the most, because I know that we do have a lot of traders that are at the beginner level. But also I'm still trying to, talk about our fundamental stuff for anybody that is a little bit more, intermediate advanced. And it's still good to have an idea of that fundamental stuff as a beginner, but you don't want to put too much focus onto it to where you're getting overwhelmed. So again, we are still back to our technical analysis. We're just still in this range. We have not broken out of this range. We haven't really been doing, we still haven't gotten any external liquidity, right? Up here, I would have wanted to see us come grab this high at the top and then reverse, but we just wanted to come up to the top, come back down, and we still haven't come down and grabbed our liquidity at the bottom of this range. So this is not stuff that I'm wanting to trade right now. There's just nothing that I see that will offer enough reward for us to be worth it. Now, if we can wait and wait and wait, and finally we see that breakout happening, or we see a liquidity sweep of an external level, right, then we can look for that reversal. We can look for something good. But to me, there's no point of putting any risk into the market when we see this ranging behavior up and down. No high reward being offered. You could look to scalp these highs and lows, right? But I'm waiting for that external liquidity sweep to where we can look to catch 200 plus ticks on a trade, right? To where we actually go grab that Asia high and we reverse and we can catch it all the way back down to the bottom of the range, right? Things like that. So that's just why I'm not really looking to take any trades right now. Again, it's not really my style to, it's not really what I like to do. I don't really love to scalp ranges. I mean, I still will sometimes look to scalp the range, but that's not really my type of trading. I prefer to catch more higher reward setups. Those high probability setups. That's kind of what I like to do. But again, if you're looking to scalp and you want to scalp these highs to lows, then basically what you're doing is every time you grab an internal liquidity level, you're just reversing it back down to that next internal level, right? So we take out this high, then you'd be looking to short down to these lows. And then we take out these lows, you'd be looking to long back up to the highs, right? So that would be that scalping that price action, scalping those highs and lows. That's just not really the type of trading that I like to do personally. But I know that there's a lot of people, I'm sure there's people in here, like you just said, that, you've been scalping it. And there's people that, are going to want to do that. And that's, you can still find, good scalps by doing that, good trades, for sure. But just not really what I'm looking to do today. Really, for me, all I'm waiting for is a actual external sweep. And what I mean by external sweep is we have our external high up here, right? And these external highs are those swing lows and swing highs on the hourly, 4-hour, daily time frame, right? So we have that swing high up here, Asia high, previous session high, right? That's external. So when we sweep those external levels, if we just come back down, we don't displace, we typically will see a reversal back down. So we also have the London low down here. That's an external level at the swing low. So during silver bullet hour, we would have wanted to see price go target one of those external levels, but obviously we didn't see that happen. We just saw ranging. No external sweep of liquidity, just sitting right in the middle of this area, going up, going down. But those tend to be our highest probability setups, is either the move going to grab that liquidity or waiting for that liquidity to be taken and then catching that reversal move back down. Those are typically our really high probability setups. Or if we come up and displace a high, displace that liquidity level and show a lot of momentum to that side, then you can look to catch that breakout move off of retracement, right? Displacement, retracement, catching it to that next external level, like yesterday's high, things like that. So, again, if you're wanting to scalp the 1 minute time frame, you can scalp the 1 minute time frame, right? Like you could catch that short back down, try to catch it back down to these lows after taking this buy side liquidity level. Then you could wait for price to come take out these lows and then long it back up. So yeah, you can still do that, but to me that's not what I like to do. So I'm not really going to be looking. I'd rather not take any trades this morning than scalp those highs and lows personally. Yeah, it all looks ugly today. It all looks ugly on our charts. So we're getting closer to that London close. Right, London closes here in about 4 minutes. Which typically you see a reversal around London close, but we don't really have a reversal to be had since we're just right in the middle of our range. So I'm not really seeing anything that I want to take right now, and that's okay. Maybe we'll see some more movement going into the lunch hour, maybe our lunch hour macro time frame, right? Maybe around like 9:10, 9:20 Pacific or 12:10, 12:20 Eastern. We might see some kind of move. But yeah, I'm just not really looking to take this right now. Again, like we said, there's that scalp right there. There's that short scalp. So, if that's what you're trying to do, still just talked about it, right? And now it's playing out. So you could have caught that scalp, could have caught that short, taken some profit off, move that stop to break even, take full TP once we take out these lows, right? And then look for that next long if that's what you're trying to do. If you're really trying to scalp these highs and lows, you can do that for sure, right? So maybe we'll see right now if we do end up taking out this low or some of these lows. We can look and see if we're going to get that reversal move right back up to the highs. Maybe try to catch a trade. Again, not really loving that idea. So that's kind of where my head is at right now. All right, so no trades have been taken today, which, like we were talking about, guys, you don't need to be trading every single day. There's no one telling you that you need to trade every single day. If the trade is not there, why not just preserve your capital? Don't put risk into the market. Save it for another day. Save it for a day where we see really good price action. That's when you're going to catch that real profit, right? And yeah, if you want to trade these types of days, as long as you can keep your risk management very, very tight, you're not risking very much, you're scaling down maybe a little bit, and even if you do lose, yeah, you'll still have room to be able to catch real moves throughout the week. But to me, it's just not worth putting this risk right now until I see something very good. Did anybody scalp these shorts though? When I talked about it up here, I'm like almost positive at least 3 of you scalped these shorts. That's my guess. At least 3 people. Okay, there's 1. Anybody else? Did anybody else scalp these shorts? There's 2. Oh, do we have our third? I knew it. I knew we at least had 3. Well, there we go. So yeah, if you want to scalp, there it is. You're short from 18,633. Okay, so you cut it all the way at the top. There you go. That's a nice little move there. That's a nice little move. Okay, so we're back down to the lows. We haven't swept them yet. Yeah, we've been ranging from these fair value gaps the whole day, right? We have this one down here. 15-minute here. And then we've got this 15-minute, or not that 15-minute, sorry. We closed above this 15-minute here, but we've been ranging from that 15-minute bearish breaker. Every time we touch that 15-minute bearish breaker, we head back down. Every time we come into this 15-minute bullish fair value gap, we go back up. So let's see what we do once we grab this liquidity on the sell side. ES has already taken that liquidity there. Alright, so if I was in these shorts, personally, I would sell everything at these lows here. That's what I would do. You obviously don't have to do that. You could keep holding if you want to. Alright, we do still have more sell side down here. Looks like we're actually dropping kind of a little more aggressively here. Actually creating our first, looks like we're creating our first 5-minute fair value gap of this whole morning. I don't think we've had one, since market open, I don't think we've had one 5-minute fair value gap actually formed. This might be the first one. Okay, so we grab that liquidity now. Now let's see if we're going to reverse right back to the other side. It just gets hard here because we still have sell side liquidity. Alright, so is price going to go down and grab that extra sell side down here before it reverses again? Alright, and that's the other reason I don't really like to trade these ranges unless it's very clear that we're going to reverse. $15-minute. Yeah, I mean, we do have those big wicks. But we can see here we had these big wicks to the downside here, and then price came right back up. So we're going down to grab that extra sell side down here. Alright, so we have this low here we just took out. Got this low here touching back into that 15-minute. I mean, if we see another bounce off this 15-minute, down here we could catch another long. Or we could catch a long right back up. Got that first 5-minute fair value gap formed here. Actually pretty strong displacement here. Pretty strong displacement of these lows. So I do want to see what we do if we touch into this 15-minute fair value gap below. If we're going to get another bounce from it. Alright, so that 5-minute closed. 5-minute close with strong displacement down to the downside of these lows. Yeah, ES did that 5 minute fair value gap. I mean, this could be the point where we actually try to go take maybe some external sell side liquidity. Got to see how we react off this 15-minute though. It's still looking bearish here. So we've tested this 15-minute a few times. All right, ES is really heading down. Got that 15 on ES here as well. Just want to see us tap into that 15 minutes, see if we're going to respect it and start to head back up, or if we're going to push right through it. ES just retested that 15. So, I mean, I'm not looking. It's not like I really need to take a trade, but this one could be, we could see a decent setup here. So we can see SMT at the lows. Just really waiting to see if NQ is going to tap into that 15-minute or not. That's really the only level that I'm looking at right now. Really just stalling here. I don't even know if we're going to test that 15. We might just head right back up, at least for that 5-minute. Now let's say you wanted to long back up to the 5-minute. You could still catch a decent reward. Try to catch back to those highs. See what happens. I wanted to see this 15-minute get touched, but we haven't seen that. But we do have the SMT at the lows. Okay, if I was gonna long this, I would for sure be selling some of my contracts up in that 5-minute. Again, you guys can see that we're still kind of stalling at this level. Okay, but in Seek and Destroy, what you would be looking for is once this liquidity is taken, you would now be looking to long back up to these highs. Because of this range. So look at the range. Look how every time we've touched into this 15-minute fair value gap, we have gone right back up to the top. Even after seeing displacement on the 5-minute. Right, we've seen displacement of these lows down here, and then we came right back up. So it's also looking at that 15-minute time frame as well. 15-minute will tell us a lot. Cheers. So again, guys, I mean, we're getting closer to lunch hour. I'm still not really, just wanting to jump into a trade, but just keeping my eye on it. Probably call it a session here in a few minutes if we don't see anything happen. And then we'll come back for education and then prop firm. See if we have better price action for a prop firm session. So I'm just kind of waiting to see. Are we gonna trade down? I'm gonna trade down into that 15. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. I'll tell you, it feels a lot better. It feels a lot better to walk away from your computer knowing that you stayed disciplined and didn't get chopped up, didn't take, trades that weren't there. Knowing you didn't lose any money because you realized what the market conditions were. Feels a lot better walking away from that than walking away from your computer knowing that you just went against your plan completely. Okay, so we just touched that 5-minute there. $15-minute candle is about to close. This will be a key close here. See if we want to tap into this 5-minute above. So yeah, we could see this reaction we're getting off this 5-minute fair value gap. But yeah, guys, I mean, I'll see how this 15-minute closes. Going into lunch hour, probably not looking to take anything here. But sometimes around 9:10 or around 12:10, 12:20 Eastern time during lunch, we sometimes see an actual move. So I'll probably take a break, come back around that time, looking at my charts, and then we'll do our education. See if there's anything set up. But if we continue to chill in this range, won't necessarily be looking to take any trades. Okay, so that 15-minute candle closed. No displacement of the lows there. So we're going to head right back up. So those longs from down here All right, taking sell side liquidity. We'll see if it can fight through this 5-minute imbalance or if we're going to get a reaction off this 5-minute imbalance. But, I mean, yeah, at this point, guys, I think I'm just going to call the session. You know, no trades taken. Good discipline today. I know some of you guys were scalping. At least we're still able to call out this short down up here. So some of you guys were able to still catch a few good trades, or at least one good trade today. But again, I'd rather not take any trades than take ill-advised trades. But overall, great education today. I really enjoyed JB coming on and giving us some knowledge. Hope you guys did too. But we'll be back at 9:30 a.m. Pacific for some education. So hope to see you guys there. And then if after that, we'll do our prop firm session and we'll call it a day from there. All right. So God bless everybody. Appreciate all of you guys who stuck around, wanting to learn, wanting to get better. All right. We'll keep getting better. Stay with that discipline. And I will catch you guys in a little bit for our education. All right, guys. Peace.